Still kind of crazy to think that I'm 23 months on hormone replacement therapy. It's kind of amazing to think that it's almost been 2 years. On one hand, it feels like it's been a very long time, but when I look at the calendar, it seems like it wasn't all that long ago, and I was just trying to figure out who I was. But I'll get more into that with the next update video. As for this month, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but for some odd reason I've just been suffering from a very bad lack of drive. I don't know if it's because the summertime is the busiest season for me, if maybe I'm kind of depressed about something, perhaps I'm working too hard and not taking enough of a break, but it seems like I have to motivate myself in order to do a lot of things that are not involved with work. Most of the time I just want to come home and just go right to bed after getting dinner taken care of. Of course, there could be two other factors as well. It's the summertime, and in a stunning turn of events, I actually can't stand the heat more now than before I started transitioning. I was always kind of told that hormones would actually make you colder, but it just kind of makes me sweat less, and this almost leads to a tendency of being more faint and wanting to just kind of pass out. Thankfully, I haven't done it, but I've come very close a few times. And then the other factor, I think back of the first time I went through puberty, and I just got like no sleep during any of that. It's one of the great mysteries as to how I passed junior high school with a passing grade. Because I can remember some nights I didn't get to bed until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then would get up at 6:30 for school. But hey, if I could deal with that, I guess I could deal with this. Although it would be nice to actually start getting out of bed and feeling awake every once in a while. That's about all I'm noticing in terms of the hormonal changes. Now on to some of the more personal stuff. So the first thing, I get my blood drawn about once every 3 months. There's one time the doctor said I might even be so stable it might even be 6 months, but that is yet to happen yet. This blood test was very different. So obviously I've had blood tests many times before just to make sure all my hormones are in balance and everything like that. But as soon as that phlebotomist put in that needle, it hurt like crazy. And on top of that, she had to take out 4 vials of blood. And every time she put in a new vial, the needle went in a little more, and it was like... And then after it was done, it was just throbbing for like the next hour or so. In fact, I was kind of worried maybe the wound wasn't closing up all right, so I was just kind of making sure that I wasn't gonna like drop of blood loss or something. But then again, I guess I'm the kind of person that has a tendency to freak out. Well, it got a lot better within the next few hours. There was a bit of a bruise there for the next few days, and even then there'd be a few times I would reach for something quickly and I'd be like, ah. So I honestly don't really know what happened there. But I was able to get my results that day, so take the bad with the good. However, the next blood test I'm going to go to, I'm sure I'm going to be a bit more afraid now. Probably one of the biggest things that I wanted to do this month is I wanted to go bra shopping. I have talked about this with several other girlfriends I have. And when I use the term girlfriend, I just mean friends that are girls. I kind of wonder if maybe I should think of a different term, but whatever. Enough of this, like, worrying about the heteronormative agenda. But anyway, I was always curious, like, is there a way to figure out what size I am? And a lot of them told me that it's a standard practice. If you go into a typical store that only sells bras, they're going to measure you. And so I made that a goal to be able to do this month, which I did. I'm not going to lie, it was a little nerve-wracking at first because, well, let's just say some of the fashions in there kind of excited me, and I was worried about blowing my cover, and I'm just gonna keep it at that. But anyway, it wasn't too bad. I was able to find I guess seamstress would be the term. I was able to get my measurements. The only thing I was just a little off put by was I kind of wanted to know what my cup size was, and I just always wore a B cup just as a way to, I don't know, I figured if I thought big, maybe I would grow that size. And plus it seemed like it was the most comfortable, as A's turned out to be too tight. And in some cases the B's almost feel a little too loose. But anyway, I was able to get the measurement, and I would stick with the slightly larger size. It was there I started to realize that bras are honestly kind of expensive. Like when people are telling me that I got a good deal for getting 2 for $50, I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, I like to go to thrift stores and buy things, but I guess that's the problem. You're kind of at the mercy of what sizes they have, as opposed to when you go to a bra store, they always have that size. But all the same, it just was kind of nerve-wracking that I picked up 4 for over $100. And this is me, who hasn't paid more than, say, $5 for any pair of underwear. But all the same, I'm happy I went. So where I work, they have a uniform policy. And this time around, I really wanted to embrace myself, so I went with ordering only female clothes, female shirt, and female pants. The only real problem with this female shirt is if I didn't wear a bra, it just kind of seemed like I was trying to stab through the shirt. Once again, I'm trying to be more euphemism-like, as I want this to be kind of for a general audience. So I needed bras to wear these shirts. However, at that time, I only had like 2, maybe 3 that I was comfortable wearing around all day. And now I have a collection. And this brings up a very interesting point I never really thought about. It's very weird whenever I look at bras, as they're very like ornate. They're very pretty. You got like bows, you got lace, you got something that looks very nice. But yet, who is going to see this other than yourself, or maybe somebody you're really hitting it off with on a first date? And it just kind of got me to thinking. It's like, how come women have like such sexy underwear, but yet men have like very basic, very boring stuff? Like, I figure men probably want to feel just as sexy as women, but yet I feel like women have a lot more of a capacity to be able to feel sexy. Like, you got very ornate bras, you got very ornate panties, you got stockings, you got nylons, you got a whole bunch of things that you can wear to make yourself feel pretty. And over there with men, it's just kind of like, here's a t-shirt that shows your muscles. Oh, you don't have any? Well, that's a pity. Even now, it still feels kind of weird that I feel sorry for men sometimes. But then again, maybe it's because I spent a pretty good chunk of my life as a man. I still kind of identify with it. It's one of those weird things. There's a little bit of infighting. It's just like, yes, being a woman makes me really happy. I see a beautiful face in the mirror. In fact, even when I was going around the mall, occasionally I would just kind of see me walking by, and I'm just like, who is that beautiful girl in the mirror? And I'm like, it's me. And it makes me happy that I have very feminine features. I look very feminine. I feel very feminine. I feel fantastic. But yet sometimes it still feels like there's that little bit of man in me that's just kind of like, hey, white men are not the worst thing that happened to this planet since smallpox. Or whenever anybody puts men down just for existing. And I feel very much the same way if anybody put women down for just existing. And so I'm just kind of caught in the middle between these two ideologies. On one hand, why can't we all just get along? But now that I'm a woman now, it seems like I have to push this agenda that men are awful. And that just goes against my personal beliefs because I just don't think it's right to hate anybody because of what you think they are. Okay, if the person is a man and he's a horrible person, okay, he's a horrible person. But not because he's a man, he's just a horrible person. Same thing with a woman. If a woman is just a horrible person, it's not because she's a woman, it's because she's a horrible person. And I find this is a rather controversial stance to take these days, so I hope I'm not going to start any fires by saying it. But yeah, I think that's about all I really have to mention. I will admit that sometimes I see myself in the mirror and I see a lot more femininity, or I realize that these bras actually fit relatively well depending on the day, so it just kind of fills me up with this weird, unexplainable happiness that I figure euphoria is the only word for it. But at the same time, this is something I've been feeling since, say, maybe the 9 month point, then it's really just kind of gotten better from here. I think that's the best place to end it right there. Until next time, be yourself, no matter who that is.